Hello, this is E Squared with Carol and Tanya, also known as Off the Cuff with T and Me. I'm T, that's me over there, my friend Carol. What we're talking about this morning? Resistance. Resistance to, the way that we think it should be, or the way that we think that things should be turning out, and then the pausing places in well, it should be working out like this, and why isn't it? And all those things attached to that. So recently, Carol and I attended Mike Dooley's workshop, Infinite Possibilities, and became certified trainers with them. And since then, the amazing things that have been happening in our lives are just phenomenal, just incredibly phenomenal, but not without those caveats of stopping places and stalling places and resistance. So we've been kind of, I don't know, it feels like a bit of a badminton game or a tennis match, where we're lobbing this ball back and forth. And both of us have experienced the gremlin of green envy towards one another. And even though it was fleeting, even though it was just a glimpse of a moment of, well, I'm going to be left behind, or why does she get to do that and I don't? What truly is magnificent about our relationship and having had it for so long, we've been friends for like 42 years, is that I immediately was able to turn that envy into inspiration. And so we have talked a lot this weekend about historical stuff, and then where we are now and where it is that we're going. And we're both very excited to have you here with us. So here we are talking about resistance and how it shows up for us. Carol, what do you have to say about that?
Yes, it has been an interesting whirlwind week. I mean, to think after all the work that even just coming out of that workshop, to think for a minute, like I sat there and I was like, oh God, like look at all the stuff that Tanya's doing. She's magic. She's making it all happen. And like Tanya said, that gremlin of envy did. It was like, oh, Carol, you know, what are you doing? Well, let's see, I work full time and I don't have time for this. And then the usual conversation started taking place in my brain and I started going back and forth, just like Tanya says, badminton game inside my own head, a badminton game with Tanya and all of this. Now I know I want this for Tanya. 100%. I
Hello?
fully support you, right? I mean, there's no question there. I'm as excited for you as you are. But when I was finding myself being the crab, being pulled back into that crab pot for a minute. And instead of, I guess, instead of staying there, I mean, I did check in with myself. What is this really about? I can make excuses or I can just get it done. And so it was interesting that the very next day, I started my day with a little trick that Tanya and I've been practicing for a while. It's a do you remember when? It's like a phone call from the future, as Mike Dooley might say. And I was like, hey, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fill my room. I'm gonna get my six people. That was kind of how I started my very next day. And then would you know it? In the afternoon, I got one of my coworkers that so when are you gonna do your first workshop? Because I'm really excited to be there. And I all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, like now I'm panicking. And this excitement came over me. I'm like, yeah, I got to get on that. I keep making excuses because my job just keeps getting in the way, which is just a load of crap. It's totally a load of crap. So, what did I do at the end of that day? I just did a little post on Instagram and on Facebook. And I'm back on Facebook. Yes, I am back on Facebook. That was a really long way to get back onto Facebook. And would you know that within 2 hours, I had almost doubled my entire allotted six people that I needed to finalize my certification.
And when that happened, even though I was excited for you, even though I was like, yes, I want this for my friend, there was that gremlin of envy going, well, great, she filled the thing right away. Now she has all her people and I'm doing mine allotted a lot. Isn't it interesting that even though we're both on the same page of being excited for one another, that sort of gremlin of envy can creep in and go, well, why can't I have it that way? Because it's not meant to be that way. And or I could get out of my own way and surrender to the possibility of I can do it many ways, right?
Many ways.
Infinite possibilities. And when
Infinite.
I step into the possibilities, another leg or arm or something shoots off of that. And I go, right, this is the energy that I want to live in more and more, is the imagination station, the creation, the love of abundance, and knowing that everything that is meant for me will not go past me.
So
And
true.
everything that is meant for you will not go past you. When we are ready, the teacher appears, right? When we are ready, the opportunity appears. And we think we need to be ready by having all of our T's crossed and our I's dotted. And really, actually, sometimes it's imagining that thing, holding the vision of that thing, and then surrendering to the how, surrendering to the universal understanding that the universe has this.
Yeah.
It knows more than we do quite often.
It's really true. You know, on Saturday morning, I was really connecting to my why, really connecting to why do I want to do infinite possibilities? What else can I do with this? Where do we go from here? And Rebecca Sagoda, she's written a very similar program off the back of the Infinite Possibilities, calling I Believe in Me. And we're going to be teaching this coming soon. So stay tuned, folks, for this. This is a workshop that's actually designed for children. I'm going to implement it for children and children with families. And I think Tanya is with me on this. I say that's a we thing. But we're also doing our own thing. So I want to make sure that we're both speaking for ourselves here. Anyway, I was on my way down to Seashell on Saturday morning, and I was talking to my partner, and I said, I really want to do like a connecting to the kids, to the inner child. Like maybe I even lead this workshop in a daycare setting. I've got somebody who is going to be part of my first 6 who actually runs a daycare. And I'm like, oh, we could totally do that. And not having any attachment to what was going to come next. Really, this was me connecting to my why. And I went to the thrift store and look at this. Look at this guy. I came across this massive dinosaur and I had to have him. I initially was like, oh, I'm going to get him for Weston, our grandson, because he loves dinosaurs. And as I'm walking around the store with him like this, everybody that I was coming in contact with smiled, said something, laughed, and experienced some level of joy and light. In the store, that made sense, right? I'm like, well, we're in the store. And you know what? The most common thing that people said was, well, someone's going to be happy. And I thought, I'm happy that you're connecting with me and you're happy because I can see it in your face. I'm like, you're right. Someone is going to be happy. Somebody's already happy.
Yeah.
And as I was walking down the street, somebody's like, well, does he have a name yet? But the moment, T, and I know you've seen this before, like it was like literally the whole world just lit up. All I could see was joy while I was walking with Howie under my arm. And his name's Howie. And his name is Howie because it's how we connect. And he's how I get to, like, it's just the strategy. It's just an incredible strategy. And he has the cutest little eyes. Look at that little eye. Look at that. It's just so freaking cute. But the ability to be able to stop and talk to people, and these are adults, these are full blown, like there were people in their 60s and 70s and 80s that were making a big stink about this. And for that one instant moment, we all got to connect with that inner child that we were. So 10-15 minutes previous to this, folks, I was just talking about connecting with my why, wanting to do some of that inner child work, and look at what happened, just like that. So this envy is short-lived if we connect with our why.
Yeah.
Right? When we are really dialed into, oh my gosh, like T and we are up to some amazing things together. We always have been. This is the most incredible thing that we've ever been up to. I'm just gonna pass this back to T right now because I'm
yeah.
I'm
And so, you know what this reminds me of no matter what the form is, right? So right now, Howie is the form, right?
Yeah.
At one point in time, the comedy stand was the form for me, right?
Yes.
But wherever I go, there I am. So no matter what we're doing, when we live aligned with our why, we're actually connected to our purpose. And when we're connected to our purpose, there is a free flow there. There's a free flow of energy. There's less resistance, if not none. And it's the practice of that, right? So it's not a one and done, yay, I'm going to flip that switch and now it's going to be on forever. It's finding the dial turned down again and going, hey, how did that happen? okay, I'm going to turn that back out, up. I mean, intentionally. And like you said, creating joy, right? So, oh, somebody's going to be happy. Yes, you're right. You, right there, right then, right there. Even when people didn't stop at the comedy stand, I'd be waving and I'd be in my intention of spreading joy. And thank God for my friend Stacy, who said, how are you going to detach your worth from the people that aren't willing to see you or are unable to see you? And I was like, okay, that's the practice. I am giving away joy without expectation of return. Yet every once in a while, someone goes, oh, I get it. And then that joy gets returned to me. And then absolutely, for sure, they take that joy and amplify it into their own lives, and I am able to feed my soul and amplify it even more. And so what if we just got in the practice of, when that little green envy shows up, right, for ourselves, for others, wherever it shows up, to meet it with, hi, how can we switch that from envy into empowerment and jump to the joy? Jump to the joy, right? Take that leap of faith across the precipice of, I know that I'm here and I know this is where I'm going and I don't know how I'm going to get there, but leap in faith, knowing that the net will appear and or the wings will appear as we need them.
Amen.
Amen,
Amen, sister.
yeah.
You know, we've known each other for a long time,
Yes,
and relationships can be tricky. There's lots of things that show up in relationship, and in fact, I think that being in a relationship, is one of the best strategies to actually grow and learn and expand.
Agreed.
We just told you a little bit about how we both experienced envy with each other while we're working towards the very same goal. And what is magic about this is that we were able to talk to each other about it. We were able to talk to each other about it coming from a place of love, coming from that place of curiosity, coming from that place of authenticity. Hey, I honor and value our relationship so much that I felt safe enough to just show up and tell you how I was really feeling.
Yeah.
And that you received it with love, and vice versa.
And vice versa. Absolutely. And it's interesting because I could sense or feel the resistance, right? And the push pull. And yet all I could say was, you know what? I love you. And as soon as there was just unconditional love there, it was like, all right, I'm going to kick my own butt and get my own self going, because we can wallow for a long time. We have all kinds of reasons why it won't work and it's not good enough, it's not the right time, all the stuff that we tell ourselves. And or like you said, we can get into real relationship with one another, tell ourselves and the other the truth about what's going on, and hope that we get to envelop love all around that and allow each other to grow and bloom even more and even more. That expansion place, right? It's magic.
It's a stepping stone. Resistance is a stepping stone. If we can hold that perspective and just be curious about, what is this here to teach me, and being open to hearing what that answer is, even if it's something that you don't think it should be.
Of course.
Right?
Of course. On that note, just before we finish, I was working with a doula, and she was having this person that she was helping give birth, and they had such an attachment to the way that the birth was supposed to go. And then, of course, I don't know if anybody's ever given birth, but it doesn't generally go according to plan. So, but it was the resistance to the fact that it wasn't going according to plan that kept everything restricted and wasn't allowing this baby to be born. And the moment this mother actually surrendered to what was happening instead of what she thought should be happening, it's like a relaxation happened and the baby went, okay, I get to come now, right? And quite often, like, how often do we get stuck in the birth canal of something and we're retracted and trying to control the situation and trying to control the outcome in such a way that we actually couldn't possibly, until we surrender, allow the thing to happen the way that it's supposed to happen. It's through our detaching from the meaning, and the maker of meaning that we are, and detaching from the outcome and or the how we're going to get there, and allowing the universe to weave its magic, because it happens every time, even in life's challenges.
Especially in life's
Especially
challenges.
in life's challenges. Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? This has been Off the Cuff with T and Me. I'm
And Howie.
and Howie. And Howie. Why
Yeah.
not? And we love you, and thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts for coming and listening to what we have to say and sharing in our learning as we're doing it. So magic happens here. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Subscribe below. Take good care. See you next time.